Okay, good morning, guys. This video, I will probably make it live on on YouTube or Facebook as well. Um, the purpose of this video is just to help one of my students that has some little problems. I haven't prepared this video. I will just do as I say it. So I think it's more real. It's probably gonna be a short video, but it's always good to see what you guys can do. This is what I've just received from one of my students. Okay, I will do a bit of analysis of the model because why not? It looks quite good, must admit. This is one of the models. Okay, I can see a bit of problems here. I mean, the setting is fine. The holes are fine. Okay, the question, I'm not gonna show the message. What I'm going to do is just show the message without the name, okay? Hi Joan, I wrote you a messenger. I need help how to render Boolean models. As explained you, I find difficulties to fillet the prongs after cutting them, and how to cut the prongs on the shank correctly, and fillet their edges. I can send you the Boolean ring and if possible to make the tutorial video explaining how to do the process. Thank you. Okay, I don't quite understand, but I assume we are referring to how to cut the prongs on the center stone of here. First of all, there's something here that it's like, I don't want to say wrong, but it bothers me a little bit. It's the position of this stone on the halo and this. You see these faceted things? Because I can see this line, and when I click, the geometry looks fine, but I don't see it properly. Okay, I know I'm not answering the question. My student is not asking for this, but I will answer you how to do this. This is what my male intuition is telling me. It's a visualization problem. So to do that, you would go to somewhere called General, maybe? No. I knew where it was in Rhino 5, not in Rhino 6. That is probably here. Yes. Okay, jagged and faster should fix it. Basically, we're making the geometry sits probably a bit better. If this doesn't fix it, it usually happens when the model is Boolean. If you open this model and it's not Boolean, I would strongly suggest you check it because potentially there's something wrong. Okay, you can see here it's fine, but here it's not fine. So be careful with this. If you have, again, the settings with jack and faster, you might have something wrong here, so it's worth checking it, okay? By here I mean anywhere on this piece, okay? And probably the same here on the close, okay? So I would strongly suggest you check the geometry first before you export this into an STL file, okay? Okay, let's focus on the close. How would I trim the close for rendering? Which I understand it's your question. I would simply create a plane and you can do two things. You can do it the easy way or you can do it the difficult way. If you want to go easy, you just make a plane like this and you do a split and you split this like this. So you cut them off, okay? You probably need to ungroup it, and once you ungroup it, just delete this, okay? Then, if you want to make it really easy, you can simply create a sphere by 3 points. So I'll do it again. Sphere, 3 points, and you do 1, 2, and 3, okay? Some people do that and they consider acceptable, okay? I personally don't, right? So I would probably bring it low actually. It was quite high. If you're trying to render this in a very easy and simple way, you could just do this and split like that. Okay, and then just basically put a sphere on top. Okay, so I do ungroup again. I'm going to keep this plain because I'm going to show you something. So I have this, and when I make the sphere by 3 points, 1, 2, and 3, okay, I can make a mirror to the other side. Okay, and then I can split these spheres with the same plane. Okay, right. This, if you are lucky, you might be able to use it. Okay, it's not how I would do it, but in a very simple way, it would work. However, if you want to do it properly, I'm going back to the beginning. What you should do is make this smaller, put it here, and try to find the right angle. Okay. There are many things that you should consider when it comes to rendering. Like, it's not just cutting the clothes. There's more than that. Like, I think I explained this on my, I made a video for this actually. I believe it's on my matrix course. It's called Prepare a File for Render with Keyshot. And I also explained this on my Keyshot course, which is Keyshot is just a software for rendering. However, answering your question, what you should do is this. Actually, 1 second. Let's make sure that with the plane, you're only cutting the claw. Okay, you don't want to destroy the entire ring, especially if you have everything Boolean. So let's do scale 1D, not up to here, up to here, and then you do split, and you split this claw. Okay, only one of them. So you ungroup it again. So you have this. Okay, I'm just going to do it in one claw. Everything is symmetrical, so it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so then if you want to do clumsy, you want to go clumsy and cheap, you can just make a sphere, 3 points, go to near, 1, 2, and 3, and you might get away with that. Okay, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it, if you have matrix, it's the same process. You just need to duplicate edge, so make sure you have an entire closed curve here, join. So as I was saying, if you have matrix, because I'm guessing that by looking at the layer of this stone and these stones, my friend who asked for this question is probably using matrix. So you have matrix, select this curve, press F6. I'm not going to do it now because I'm using Rhino. Press F6 and you will have an option that says Profile Cap. Press that and you will see a little cap coming out of here. If you don't have matrix, which fair enough, you can use probably this command or this command, patch. Let's see. Okay, that is not gonna work. Let me just try something. No, that's not gonna work. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, so the other way to do this is by using, it's quite obvious that I haven't prepared this exercise, right? Okay, so extract isocurve, and you extract an isocurve here, and then an isocurve, not this way, but this way. Okay, so you have these two options, and then you extract another isocurve this way, and another one in the other direction. Okay, so effectively you have this. If you want, you can select everything and use isolate to get rid of all of this. So now we're going to couple this. Okay, so we can use the command called blend curves, which I believe is somewhere around here. Quick blend curve, yeah, we can go with quick blend curve 1 and 2. So we have this. Then this command has created this curve. So if we just put a point around in the middle, we can extend this. So we extend this to this point. So we go to point, okay, and we can actually change this a little bit if we just move this down, okay. Yeah, like this would work, okay. And then we just do the same process here, okay. So it's not finished yet, but basically we're creating the cap just using curves, okay. So now here it's touching, and here we should split this with this line. You see, so now it's split. And now this line we will split with these two. So we have this. And with this, we can try to use sweep to rail, which is over here, but it might not work. Whoops. We need to split this as well, of course. We will try sweep to rail, and if not, we're gonna try curve network. A lot of people might be thinking now, is there a faster way to do it? Yes. You can use ZBrush to do something like this, but if you don't have ZBrush and if you only have Rhino, this is the best way to do it. Okay, so I have this, but you see, I might end up with something bulky like this. I might not want that. So you can try maintain height, it might work in some cases. And if you add a slash, see it's not working in this case. So what we will need to do is select everything and use curve network, which is here. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, enter. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. If I go like this, okay. How was this? All of this might need to be joining one. If I remember correctly. Yes, okay, I'll do it again, sorry. So all of this joining one and 4 separate curves. Okay, so then curve network, ignore all the commands, just select everything, enter. That's it, okay? So now if I show the whole thing again, that I got it, okay? That's how you would soften one of the claws for rendering. Another little trick, depends of which render you're gonna use, is to cut a hole here. So just a hole, a gap that it's big enough to cut the claw, okay? So that the claw and the stone is not touching, okay? But again, be careful with this. Depends of which software you're gonna use for rendering, okay? Okay, so this case would be exactly the same in all of this, and pretty much in any kind of setting, okay? I believe that was one of your questions. Let's go to the other question. That was one, which is done. Another question, I'm gonna put it here. Another question, please. How do I make holes of the stones also? I know that you can draw a cylinder and do Boolean difference, but I want to know how to draw a cylinder or a polysurface as the geometry of the downsizing of the stone. After that, how do I exactly to place that polysurface into the place of the stones to do a Boolean difference? Okay, I need to read this again. Okay, I assume here we're talking about the cutters for the stones. Let me just check my Facebook messages for a second. I'll show you how to make the cutters in Rhino. One second. Okay, well, I'll go with this. I will assume that that's the question. Right, so let's say, for example, I need a kata for a center, for a round diamond, and for an oval, okay, because it's what I got here. Okay, so, well, I can get rid of all of this. I'm just gonna keep just two little stones. And I'll show you the example with these ones, but it basically applies to everything, okay? Okay, so we have two different sets of stones. Let's start with the round because it's easier. If I want to make a kata, the first thing you could do is use the cutting layer. Because you have all these layers here, I can see that this file was done in Matrix, as I said before. So in Matrix, you will have the cutting objects in this color, but doesn't matter, you can do it in Rhino. Okay, so I'm gonna just draw a line. Look, one cutter could be something like this, and I always make the cutters a little bit smaller than the stone. Okay. Why? Because basically your setter, or if you are the setter, you might appreciate having a little bit more metal. Okay, so I have this, and all I need to do is revolve from here up 0, 360. Okay, this is a valid kata. Okay, well, actually it's not yet. You see, the stone is inside. So this is a poly surface. Sorry, it was a surface, now it's a poly surface. This is a solid, okay? If you have a stone and you want to cut, sorry, if you have a cutter here, doesn't need to be so high. Actually, if it's quite high, it might be a problem. You can keep it like this. If you want to cut it in different places, all you need to do is just copy like this, okay? Make sure you find a reference point in common in all the objects. If you have a geometry more tricky, sorry, not a geometry that it's different, like you have the stone in a strange position, what you could do, I've never done it like this, but this is the first time for everything. You can either move it like this, so when you're placing the stone, you simply rotate and position the stone with the cutter. You can have all the stones with the cutters already saved, so that when you are making your ring, it already includes the cutters, and then all you need to do is show, okay? If you plan it like this, it's gonna make your life much easier. However, you haven't planned it like this, what you should do is orient 3 points. So basically, I went to ghosted, so I can see this position, this view of the stone. So let's say if I go, and I'm gonna choose the endpoints, let's say 1, 2, and 3, and now I go 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so basically I'll do it again. Also make sure you press copy yes. Okay, I forgot that. So basically I find 3 points here that are also here. Okay, if it's a stone, it's quite easy. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you basically find points in common, and by doing this you can copy one object from one stone to another stone. It works the same way if this stone is bigger. So orient 3-point, which I'm not gonna type it here on the top, orient 3pt. Make sure you press scale yes in this case. So 1, 2, make sure you press the right one, 3, and now 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's the same process every time. Okay, that would be for round stones. For ovals, it's pretty much the same thing. All I'm going to do is create an intersection. You can use the same process for princess cut, heart shapes. Well, heart shapes, maybe not. But for the vast majority of stones, intersect. So I have a line. Once you have the line, because the stone is not completely round, it has facets, you will need to rebuild that line. So rebuild that line, use 100 control points, I don't care. Something big, okay? And then we would need to use the same thing. So I'm gonna create the profile. Okay, we can just move it like this a little bit, just to make it a bit smaller. It doesn't need to be completely straight, okay? And then we have, this is gonna be the rail, and this is gonna be the profile of this command that I never really use, which is rail revolve. So right click here. Profile is this one, the rail is this one, and the axis is gonna be 0, shift up, and here is my kata. Okay, kata, cap, that's it. Also, if I wanted the kata to go down, you could use this line, use extrude like this, and this could be a kata. Okay, so let's say that, for example, you have a geometry you have something like this. Okay, so you can boolean this into 1. Okay, so this is one object. Okay, one object, one object. They are both solid. And now I make a boolean difference. Whoa, what happened here? Okay, now, you see? So now I made the kata. This could be like gypsy setting, for example, like flash setting. And we have the hole underneath, okay? So this would be one way of making katas as well. Of course, once you have it made already, just save it and you have it for always, forever and ever, okay? I believe that was everything that it was being asked. Yeah, when you mention downsizing, make sure you use orient 3 points with the option of scale yes. That's gonna help you to get it done properly, to scale the kata proportionally. Be careful if, for example, you use an oval like this and you want the kata to fit this oval, okay? It might not work. You might need to remake it, okay? But yes, just be careful with that. Okay, I believe that's everything. Again, if you still have any questions, any concerns, or you want to know how to do something, let me know and I'll try to make a video for you. Thank you very much for watching and see you again soon.